What is up, everyone? How are you doing? We are at our new later time that we are trying out. See how this works for everybody. I
Mm-hmm.
know it was nice for me because I got a lot of stuff done before this.
Me too. A lot of correspondence and things I had to catch up on, so it did work out for me.
I had a bunch of prep for this weekend when we're at Beaver State to get done, so I've been soldering and doing all kinds of stuff.
I was doing prep. Well, I was kind of doing some Beaver State stuff because I was emailing Phil some trivia questions, and then I had to send another email for another show we're a part of. What you doing?
Okay. So I am using model paints to start with here, like airbrush paints. This is a new brand I haven't really played with too much, but it looked to be about the right color. So this is just base coating. We'll kind of just coat the whole thing. So this is the project we were working on last week. This is going to be like basically part 2, I guess, where we are going to try to get it all painted. Right now I'm just trying to get everything covered in a coat of brown. Well, all the white at least.
Mm-hmm.
Without getting too much onto the plastic. Oh, we have people talking to us and I can't even see it. Oh, Sewon. What's up, Sewon?
Yeah, you were talking when I was gonna say hi to him, so I let you say your bit because it's more of the informational stuff.
So we're going to be doing this paint job in layers. So we're going to be using what's called the wet method, where you don't really let things dry in between. You're always going to the next layer like super fast. This is actually like what Bob Ross used to use a lot with the wet method. You just keep painting. And with natural stuff, it works really well. The other side of this, when I flip it over and it becomes more robotic, because it's the inside of the Pokedex, less so. For organic stuff, it works really well because it blends, it meshes things together, which makes it look very natural. When you get into things like robots or electronics and stuff, you want very crisp, defined edges on things.
Cool.
Trying to pull some of the excess off of here. It does
This
have a
is
nice
just
real.
what you said, right?
Huh? What was that?
This is just the base coat you said, right?
Yeah.
The base coat.
So this is just giving. So if we look at the book here, you have the warm brown, and you have this almost black, a darker brown, and a really light, almost tan on the surface. So there's different techniques to receive to get to all those, and what I'm doing right now is middle layer. So this is the middle of the color spectrum that we're putting on here. So there's darker than this and there's lighter than this. So normally you'd paint your you'd paint all your dark stuff and then you'd work your way into your light stuff, because your light stuff will paint over the dark stuff, but or vice versa. Your dark stuff will paint over your light stuff, but your light stuff doesn't like to paint over your dark stuff. In this particular situation, how we're doing it, we're going to be using a lot of like thinned out stuff. And we don't care about it being super even because it's supposed to look like dried, stretched flesh, which honestly would not necessarily dry evenly, which is part of why I don't care that there's like really dark here and lighter up here. It actually helps. So what will happen is we'll use washes and dry brushing to get different effects here. So what a wash is when you water down your paints till they are super thin. And then you just slather the thing with it. It's one of my favorite things for, like, if you buy those cheap skeleton masks, this October I'll definitely be doing one of these. You buy a cheap skeleton prop or a cheap skeleton mask, get yourself some like black model paint, just some cheap black model paint like this silver stuff is. It's a couple bucks for a bottle, and then a bottle of the thinner for it. Do it in somewhere ventilated because that stuff is caustic. Mix it up so it's really thin, brush it all over the whole thing, and then wipe it away with a paper towel. Let it sit for a 5 count. By the time you're done with the whole thing, just brushing it over, just start wiping the other side. You're already there. And you just wipe it down with a paper towel. Anything that wipes off is all your high spots. It'll just leave all the dark spots and the low spots. That is what I taught Bruce to do with his bat mask, if anyone's seen that mask. That is what he did to that mask. And then we just did some highlights with some yellows on the teeth to give it a little bit more griminess and we'll bring a little bit more life back to it. Some warmth. Okay. That dried pretty quick, actually.
It looks wet still.
Yeah, but I can touch it enough.
Yeah. So I was saying that's like...
Yeah, it dried real quick. So, let's see. Let's try doing some black wash. So, we're going to use this model paint. Put a little bit in there. I'm using a different brush there. And this is the thinner for this stuff. For when you use it in an airbrush. I'm going to make it super thin. Let me just take my brush and... So you can see it's like practically water. If you like, you can see that's super thin, watery. You just literally slather the whole thing. Do a bit. And take the paper towel. And you just wipe off the high spots. I don't have to pat because I'm pulling brown. Let's add a little brown back there. Let's wash in the low spots. Anywhere you see a crack, just kind of run down the cracks with it. One thing you might want to do, if you, part of the reason this is pulling up some of the brown, is the thinner that I used, these are two different paints, is stronger than the base paint, which is why I'm getting white spots like that. But I can fix that later. Or actually, no, the thinner is the same as the paint. So if you use two different paints, you can eliminate that some. So if you use like an alcohol based paint and then use water based for your so a little bit more black to that mix. Thicken it up a little bit. There we go. You can see how much depth this is adding just by going around these deep spots and then blotting it back. You see this starting to look more aged and weathered in already. The thicker your paint is, the less thinner you have in there, the quicker you want to pull it back up. You'll start actually just painting things on accident.
So the air dry clay you put on there isn't gonna peel off at any point?
If it does, I can just super glue it back on. So I'm not that worried about it. It is a fairly easy thing to reattach. I did actually think about that already because I have had it happen before, but that is why in my daily carry every con cosplay kit is super glue. Just for reasons like that.
In the chat we have DT Creates. They say, are you an artist? I saw you on Distance Nerding the other day.
Not exactly an artist. I call myself a maker. So I make things and I paint when I have to paint. So that's sometimes part of the gig. But more a maker. So I free sculpted all this foam clay stuff here. And this is actually for a cosplay that I am working on, where I will be Ash Williams matched up with Ash Ketchum.
That works in perfectly because his next question was, what are you making? So for those at home who are just coming across our channel, you want to give us a quick little rundown again of what you're creating with this mashup?
So the matchup that this is for is Ash Ketchum, Ash Williams. Ash Ketchum being Pokemon, Ash Williams being Ash in the Evil Dead. The part I am working on currently is my Necronomicon, which I probably said that wrong, matched up with Pokedex. So once we get this side all painted up, which we're pretty close to the end of the darks, so you guys might notice I have two different paint trays here. So there are two different types of paint trays. I use both of them for the same reason, but different ways. So if you look over here, this is just a smooth piece of glass. You can put for these bigger brushes, and when you need to do big amounts, it's great because you can just let it dry up, and then at the end just take a razor blade and a little bit of water and it scrapes right off. The mat that I'm working on and this is actually a Pop It, the little kid's toy, pop socket thing, are both silicone, and silicone does not bond too much. So when you have paint in there, like right here, they just peel right off. You can just let them dry in the spot where they are, not make a huge mess out of your sink, and then just peel off the dry that is left over. Trying to get these little wrinkles pop up.
JT Creates, I guess, didn't quite catch the beginning of the show when you were explaining the paints, because they look like watercolor. Want to remind everyone what you're working with, honey?
Okay, so right now I'm just working with airbrush paints, but the downside to working with the same type of paint for the style of work I'm doing is the thinner can sometimes rub off things that you already did. So that's why we have this little weird spot here, and I had to repaint over here. Is because, well, the thinner that I was using for the washes was kind of rubbing away some of the brown. So now that we have our dark coat here, our light is actually a different type of paint altogether. This is acrylic paint. So the thinner for this would be water. But we're not actually thinning this one. Guess we're doing it off the mat. We are going to grab yet another brush here. I personally, for doing this, prefer a fan brush. The only reason I own a fan brush, besides if you want to do happy trees. And then you literally brush it until the paintbrush is almost dry. Point where you'd normally reload your brush. And then you can slightly hit the tips. And it just gives you little highlights on some of the high spots there. I'm actually going to switch brushes. That's not working too wonderful this time. I got paint on my shredder. That's not what that's supposed to do. Not supposed to go down in the creases. Got too much paint on it. Upside is we still have black, so we can always come back and redarken. This is actually meant for these high spots. Spots where the leather may have rubbed on something. You just want a little bit, kind of bring the peaks back. When you're doing natural stuff, it actually for some reason I found if you get like a streak like that, you just blot it with your finger, it blends it really well. You can also use a sponge, but I just like to use my finger, and it blends it in nicely. I mean, yeah, you get paint all over your finger, but it washes off. You can see some of the high
DT
spots.
asks, are you trying to create an illusion of aged material?
Kinda, yeah. So it's supposed to look like old leatheriness. It's based off of that right there. That ring is showing up bad. So it's based off that right there, which turn this ring light off. Yeah, that right there where you can kind of see it. That's actually my reference image that I'm using. But one of the great things with mashups is they do not have to be perfect. So, because they are in your universe. You made the universe, you made the rules. So yeah, we are weathering the piece down some, which I'm actually pretty happy with. That looks old and weathered and bruised, and pretty happy with that. I think the only thing I kind of want to do, a couple of these spots where it got some white, take a little bit of this deep purple here. Just a drop of it.
No, Shalon, this is for Sinister Creature Con is what we're trying to get this ready for.
Yes. If you're in the Sacramento area and you want to see this costume when it is completed, it will be at Sinister Creature Con on Saturday. Bring a little bit of purple highlights into this. That was nice purple here. It's almost like a wine color. Which, if you guys are weathering clothes, coffee, wine, wonderful things. Wonderful things for weathering clothes. Really like how this looks on here.
DT asks, is that a cell phone you're using?
For the reference? Yes. For this is actually a 3D print. This, I again did not grab a Pokemon card, even though there's like 4 of them sitting in at least 4 of them in the living room. So we are going back to the classic Magic the Gathering cards here. You can take a card inside of it, and then you can have your Pokedex, which we'll paint all in here next. I just want to get the rest of my highlights on here. Where we have these lovely natural colors out. Really big fan of this color on here. That just gave that so much depth through there, just with a little bit. And just a reminder, when you are putting your paints in your trays, you don't need a lot. Start with a little bit. Unless you're coating a big project, start with a little bit. You can add more. Save your material. That stuff's not cheap. I think I'm going to go around the edge with this. It's a very similar color to the actual filament that I use. So by going around the edge, I can kind of blend the two. No, it has this weird, hard white border. You also seen it's supposed to be flesh stretched over a book. It gives the meaty side of the flesh a little something to be. I will say though, you got to be very careful if you're going to paint around unfinished 3D print parts, because once it gets paint, it is really hard to get it off. You guys, okay, yeah, I am holding that in frame. This is color shift filament that I used to print this. That's why sometimes it looks red and sometimes it looks black. And again, I do not remember the name of who made this awesome little Pokedex, but what I will end up doing is I will go back into later on, go back in and add it into the notes. Whee! That is that side. I'll paint it. Now we finish up the front side real quick, and then we can go to the inside and get into really bright, sharp colors. Very contrasting paint jobs. Going from this very organic, natural flesh to a kind of sci-fi contraption robotic color. I think we are just about done with this costume too. I have a little bit of sewing, which I'll probably do off screen. And then I think that is going to be temporarily it for this costume, except for 3 Mondays from now, when we have our friend on. We're going to learn some skills on how to work with wigs. And the wig I got for this came in looking very horrible. So I could use to learn how to do a wig right about now. Otherwise, I will be having no hair. I will go hairless. I'll be a buzz cut, Ash. That wig looks worse on than not having the wig at all. Yep, some are preferable sometimes. But at least you could wear really warm cosplay costumes there. Okay, I think that does the outside. That gives us our flesh parts. Might do a little touch up later. I'm gonna pull my card out of here so I don't accidentally keep my card. But cap that purple. We will move our brushes. It is onto the inside here. So I need to change my reference photo. The Pokedex, where it is all grays and blues and reds and is anyone here a Pokemon fan? Who here remembers the layout of the classic Pokedex? Oh, that's thin.
It turns out DT knows distance because he vended at a powerhouse and they started chatting.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, because we've just been going through the chat, going back and forth about California and other cons and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, if you're just checking out our channel, we're almost to 200. When we hit 200, we're gonna be giving away all kinds of the gifts behind her. So be sure to subscribe because you don't want to miss out on all these cool toys.
Yep. So I guess DT brought us up to 190. So now we only need 10 more subscriptions to get to that 200 to do giveaways.
Okay. We have some really nice prizes behind you. Like, you want to show some of that stuff off? Well, I have pink buttons.
Hold on. I'm typing, I'm sorry. Okay, ooh, I don't like this format.
What did you do?
I don't know anymore.
There, just leave it there.
I know, just this don't look right. Okay. I'm just gonna do this the best that I can if I can't get it to go the right way. And Jeff looks frozen on my computer, so I don't know what's going
on. I am apparently. Apparently I had a bug. Can you even hear me?
Oh. I thought it would be I can hear you.
Let me see.
Okay, guys, so we are giving away on my camera. One of these is our cool prize. No, it's not Lego brand, but it's Pokemon! Well, so if you're into comics, we have this cool Raven from the new Teen Titans figure. Very awesome. These other things are going to fall, but as you see, we have two Witcher figures. from Witcher Wild Hunt. We have this lovely Leoplerodon. And all you nerdy D&D people, and also if you have young kids, you may know about the Unicorse. Or if you just like things that glow and rainbow and you need a dice thing, we have one of those too. We also have this cool Naruto backpack that was donated, brand new. Still has tags. We have this cute little guy. He's so cute. I like him. I don't want to get rid of him, but I will if you wanna. Also, we picked up to give away to you guys this badass Mandalorian pin.
I'm having technical difficulty. Apparently my camera doesn't want to cooperate.
And there's a bunch of other stuff that I get it down to fall apart. Not just before online on Twitch. You probably did, and depending on which stream it was, you were either talking to me or you were talking to Jeff. Handcrafted toys, yeah. We make stuff. That's kind of what we do. Those ones are obviously 3D printed, but we went through the trouble of getting the right filaments to make them cool, and Jeff do some painting on the Leoplerodon to make it a little more pow. We would sell, but we need to get the seller's permit and stuff. So right now we just kind of give things away to get the subscribers so we can just build up our presence on social media. We have thought about selling, but we haven't gotten to that point yet. There's other things in the works in terms of selling and stuff. When the time comes, we'll talk about that more. Yeah, lots of people do sell all kinds of stuff that we do create, but for right now, we just make it, show off our talents and skills. Like lately, I've been making buttons, and depending on where we are, what we're doing, I will make comic book buttons and give those away too. Oh, we know it's not hard to get a seller's permit. It's just a matter of us having the time to go down and doing that. And we might do it at a show one day, but I don't think at any shows anytime soon. Yeah, I know buttons are very popular at cons, and when they come out clean like that one does, they go really fast. Which I did make a bunch to give away at Beaver State Comic Con, which we will be with Distance Nerding this weekend. Yeah, maybe someday we will see you at a con. That'd be pretty cool. We do travel all over California, and when we go out of state, it typically is with Distance Nerding. Buttons and stickers. Yeah, see, we also just give away the stickers too. So. But I wrote over 70 buttons that I made. I wrote to long fan cosplay and all of them, so people can like, who's that? And look it up and be like, oh, it's them. Cool. We used to do stickers. We don't do custom stickers. We just buy the little pack, like Phil does, to give away because it's just easier.
I mean, we have our sticker.
Friends of fan art. Yeah, I mean. Yeah, we do have our sticker that we give out like a business card. It's just literally a sticker with our logo on it. Which we thought fine for us is better than making business cards.
Unfortunately, yeah. Our my computer decided to have the issues and does not want to give me a camera.
Oh.
So it's having software issues, and I don't know how to fix this right now without just taking everything down and bringing it back up. So I think we're going to call it at that point. It's only a little bit of, everyone's seen the inside of a Pokedex, so it's only a little bit more painting there. I will post up pictures of what we end up with. And yeah, so I think that's going to do it for us this week. Not sure if we're going to have a show on Monday. If we do, it will be around 6 o'clock. But we will definitely be back next Wednesday. So remember, be a maker, not a hater. Good night, everyone.